Thanks, Ian. Let me just get it so I can see my PowerPoint. All right, here it comes. Can you see my screen? All right, let's start with Bitcoin. Now, the chart, not that interesting. Bitcoin's going sideways. In Elliott wave terms, we call it an A, B, C, D, E. That just means back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. Okay. Now, I'm sort of guessing that if this structure is right, 27K is theoretically possible. 25 to 27K is Michael Saylor's average price on the big purchases he's done that were announced via Twitter. So it might be interesting to see that level retested. Now, folks, there's a lot going on in the Bitcoin narrative, right? We know that the whole Robin Hood, horde is coming over and practically broke Coinbase and Kraken. Not practically, they did. So if these guys all ape into Bitcoin at once, the chart picture could change. Now, on the other hand, we understand that miners have shipped huge amounts of Bitcoin to exchanges to try to take advantage of all this Robin Hood style buying pressure. So maybe one cancels out the other. I think the real thing that's going to drive Bitcoin this week is the fact that for some crazy reason, hedge funds decided to get massively short Bitcoin futures. All right. Now, if the Wall Street bets guys put enough pressure on hedge funds, enough pressure on the financial system, they may have to cover those shorts in Bitcoin. So I can make a case for 27K. I can make a case for 60K. Because if everyone's buying all at once, including hedge funds, there just isn't enough Bitcoin to be able to absorb that level of buying. But I'm going to say something I often say on the show, which is honestly, I don't know how it's going to play out. Bitcoin's going sideways. It's trading lower today. I'm sure miners are selling, trying to push it down. We'll see how it works out. Obviously, I would love to see all these hedge funds get squeezed out and see 50 or 60K. That said, I think if you're involved in this market, you want to have a little bit of money on the side just in case you see 27K. Okay. Now, let's talk about Ether. Again, very mixed emotions. Ethereum's like an athlete running on a treadmill uphill. It keeps pushing and pushing and pushing this 1400 level, this all-time high zone. And it pushes to a new high, but certain other technical indicators are like, ETH's getting a little tired. So the best case scenario for ETH, believe it or not, is that the runner actually gets to take a break, right? This sideways price action is not the worst thing in the world for ETH. As a matter of fact, it's pretty good. Now, you also have to keep in mind that if there's a stock market debacle on Monday, which we'll get into, most likely ETH and alts are going to get caught up in that. And there are enough chart signals here to indicate that, if ETH got flushed lower, it could be a hefty flush. So here's our takeaway on ETH. Have a little money on the side to take advantage of a dip if it comes. But no news is good news for ETH, all right? It's just building up the steam, having some Gatorade, getting ready for the next sprint, okay? Again, all eyes will be on stocks and the risk assets as a whole come Monday. Now, Sunday, January 31st, Ripple, right? The XRP army lives again, thanks to Wall Street bets. Now, there's all kinds of talk about XRP's legal response to the government. So, of course, XRP was going to fight whatever the SEC put forward. Of course they were. As a matter of fact, anybody in crypto, regardless of what you think of XRP, you would hope that they would fight and actually cheer for them. Now, the government has a strong case. XRP pushed back, but folks, there's a bigger point here, okay? Wall Street Bets and these guys on Reddit, they got involved in XRP, not just because they think they can moon it, but because the government is putting pressure on XRP. In other words, these guys aren't just looking to make money anymore. These guys are looking to make a statement. And when you make a statement using XRP, something the government, is trying to basically sue out of existence, you are really doing something literally revolutionary. These guys are leading crypto investors and equity investors to take on the government, to take on a financial system that doesn't work for anybody. You're in crypto, you know that, or you're new to crypto. That's why you are new to crypto, right? The financial system, the central bank-driven charade is coming to an end. Now, for XRP, if it's above 45 cents, it can go to 80, okay? And as far as I'm concerned, they can take it to my old target of $3. But let's stick with 45 cents, and if it's above that, it can go to 80. Now, let's talk Dogecoin. What is the case to hold Dogecoin? Here's what I will tell you. Dogecoin is like a piece of the sequel of the Declaration of Independence. In other words, this cryptocurrency became so meaningful so quickly when these Robinhood users were like, we need to display to the world that this system is not working for us. It's not really working for anybody. We've known that for a long time, but now these guys have really exposed these hedge funds, right? They've exposed the fact that those Robinhood orders that are supposedly free were getting fed the hedge fund algorithms. They were using the little guy to feed the big guy. It's exactly why Token Metrics exists, because we actually are trying to help the little guy with AI and quant research and human research for altcoins. But I digress. Dogecoin, why own it? Why could it go up? Well, because Dogecoin was the original shot in this round of a crypto revolution. The crypto revolution where effectively we all say, we the people say to central banks and governments, F you. In terms of the chart for Dogecoin, it's holding the 62% retracement around 0.032, all right? And if it holds there, this can go up. This can go up. Just looking at the chart, it actually reminds me a lot of what happened in DeFi, right? So starting in the bottom left, you saw a DeFi run up and then come off, okay, down into November, which is exactly what Dogecoin did, right? It took off, it mooned, and then it came all the way back down, retracing about 3/4 of the move, okay? Now, in DeFi, all right, there's this huge ramp up, there's this decline, and then obviously following that, DeFi has subsequently mooned from its November lows. Now, as an aside, DeFi looks like it's at resistance. So I'm actually telling people and have been for you got profits in DeFi and you've done well and there's all this uncertainty coming up, take the money. Not saying I'm bearish, but I definitely want people to seriously focus on taking profits when you have this kind of environment. Now, let's talk total crypto market cap, okay? Excluding Bitcoin. Now, what you're going to see is, it's kind of like Ethereum, right? This measure, this total crypto market cap without Bitcoin has been rushing up at its all-time highs now for 3 or 4 weeks, right? And I'm getting a little bit concerned that it's starting to look tired. Now, that said, guess what happens if ETH breaks out, right? Let's think positive. ETH breaks out, Ripple breaks out, and the whole market just goes with those two coins, all right? But right now, this chart sort of shows, you know, the altcoin universe is at resistance and is at a standstill. Now, the level we're keeping an eye on is 370 billion, looking at altcoin market cap on a 3-day chart. This is from charts.cointrader.pro. Now, if altcoin market cap can stay above 370 billion, then there's nothing stopping it from going to 550 billion. That may be where it's going, right? If ETH and XRP go together, this rebellion, I think, could take Litecoin and Bitcoin Cash with it because they're relatively easy to move, because like XRP, no one likes them. So if altcoin market cap breaks out, those coins could just absolutely smoke to the upside, okay? Now, but the way to play it is to read and react what happens this week, right? There is huge upside in crypto. There's also huge risk that some sort of calamity in the stock and bond market temporarily bleeds over into crypto. That's why I think as you're listening to this Sunday, January 31st, you know, the market's down a little as I'm talking. Okay, total crypto market cap. So this is everything together. Now, it's interesting that at the level of 1 trillion, total crypto market cap is running into resistance. It's not only running into resistance psychologically, but there's lots of Fibonacci analysis on this really colorful chart that basically says total crypto market cap is going to have a hard time getting through 1 trillion. Now, as I said earlier, if alts, if ETH, if XRP, if all of these things take off and it goes exploding through 1 trillion, okay, well, great. It's on, right? The revolution comes to crypto. Just be careful not to get too, I don't know, don't FOMO, all right this second, okay, until total crypto market cap really takes out 1 trillion. Now, headed into next week, we got to talk stocks, okay? Now, here's how we're going to do it. Wall Street Bets has taken short positions of hedge funds and mooned those stocks to such a degree that hedge funds are either going out of business or get destroyed with negative returns. Now, that can have some implications. You may have seen some work this week where politicians were commenting on this, okay? Why are the politicians talking about it? Most likely because Janet Yellen called up Joe Biden, or the Fed is calling Janet Yellen and saying, hey, these guys, these hedge funds that are blowing up, they're leveraged. They borrow money from people to do these trades. So if you have a stock that you short at 7 because you think it's going to 0, and then that stock goes to 90, 250, 350, and maybe even 700, and you can't cover, and this happens across a wide range of hedge funds, right? We call them hedge fund hotels, right? All hedge funds have the same position. So check it out. If you lose on your shorts, what are you going to do to cover the losses? You're going to sell your winners, your long positions. Like this chart, S&P 500. The S&P 500 futures contract, and what's cool is it doesn't trade 27, but it opens on Sunday night after we get done talking. Okay? Now, why do you care? Well, if I was in a hedge fund, after they mooned XRP, I would have convened a meeting. I would have said, do we want to get caught in this? Do we want to be in a situation where our shorts moon and everyone else is selling the stocks that we own because everyone owns them? Do we want to get caught in this, or do we want to cover our shorts, some of our shorts, and sell some of our longs and reduce risk? Because it's not worth not having a job. Because make no mistake, people, GameStop at 350 meant somebody was out of business or out of a job. Okay, the stocks, the hedge fund hotels. What are the stocks that could get sold in mass if the Wall Street bets guys continue to ripple through the equity market system? No pun intended. Okay, and of course, that would be the FANG stocks, right? All of you big social media companies, Apple, Microsoft, etc., right? The big ones, the one everyone owns. Now, looking at this chart, you could argue that, Friday's time was it. That's it, right? However, if you look at some of the Gann work and some of the arrows on these charts, there have been times where FANG stocks have tried to go up through Gann lines, but then failed. When they fail, they can get hammered either for a couple of months or for a couple of days, weeks, like what happened in March. So I don't want to be like, oh my God. But let me tell you, folks, these stocks are vulnerable if Wall Street bets sort of shocks the system. Now, of course, we got to talk about GameStop. This is a 15-minute chart. It's really hard to chart a stock that goes from $4 to $400. The way I'm looking at this is if they can keep GameStop above 350, they can take it to 700. These things may happen in the pre-open trading session. I don't know. But I've seen some of the memes on Bet's Twitter, and they're coming after this thing on Monday. Silver is next, as we're told. Why is that important? Well, because every big bank on Wall Street is involved in suppressing the price of silver and gold. So's the Fed, so's the ECB, so's everybody. Because if everybody goes to take delivery of physical gold at once, there isn't enough physical gold to deliver to everyone who owns what I would call paper gold, a futures contract, an ETF, whatever, right? It's a long story, but the price of gold is artificially low, just like the price of ETH was artificially low when ETH was at 200 or 300, right? Now in silver, we have a saying at Token Metrics, the bigger the base, the higher in the space, right? And silver has been making a base and going sideways in this gray shaded area since 2013. And I think if silver takes out 29 or 30, that they could moon 100. Because Wall Street Bets is not just a bunch of guys in their basement drinking Big Red and eating Takis. Institutions are going to be looking to jump on this bandwagon. So these guys go viral, and they know they've got friends now. They got big people following them. So there's a lot of big institutional players who have wanted to moon gold and silver for a decade. So this could happen. And I think this is the most likely thing to happen. All right. And that's the market update. Ian, back to you.
All right. Thank you, Bill. That was amazing. Wow. What a week in crypto. What a week in equities. If you enjoyed the market update, be sure to smash the like button, subscribe, and join us at tokenmetrics.com. Because if you guys like this market update, we're planning on making this a daily market update just for customers when we launch Token Metrics TV. So stay tuned and join us at tokenmetrics.com.
Token Metrics is a cryptocurrency investment platform that helps users leverage machine learning to become better crypto investors. Our in-depth analysis helps eliminate the emotions of investing, find profitable investment opportunities, and filters out scams. Learn more at tokenmetrics.com. Disclaimer: Token Metrics Media LLC does not provide individually tailored investment advice and does not take a subscriber's or anyone's personal circumstance into consideration when discussing investments, nor is it registered as an investment advisor or broker-dealer in any jurisdiction. Information contained herein is not an offer or solicitation to buy, hold, or sell any security. The Token Metrics team has advised and invested in many blockchain companies. A complete list of their advisory roles and current holdings can be viewed here at tokenmetrics.com/disclosures.